We're going to talk about what's happening at the United Nations regarding Palestine and Canada's recognition of a Palestinian state. And then we're going to talk about how conservatives in Canada are reacting to it. And spoiler, not great. We know that yesterday Canada, the UK, and Australia recognized the state of Palestine. Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke at the UN today. His speech was exactly the same as his news release yesterday. But also, 6 other countries recognize the state of Palestine today. Those countries are France, Andorra, Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta, and Monaco. Now, all of the countries who recognized the state of Palestine yesterday and today all said very similar things. None of them used the word genocide in their speech. They all said that Hamas cannot play any future role in the governance of Palestine, but they also said that Israel is in fact using starvation as a weapon of war. They said that there must be a ceasefire, the hostages must be released, and that the flow of humanitarian aid needs to be let into Gaza. And they all generally agreed that the Palestinian Authority needs to take control of the Palestinian territories, but that there needs to be elections in the future for the governance of Palestine. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said something that I thought stood out. He said that Israel must accept its share of responsibility for this humanitarian disaster. Now, Israel boycotted this special session today, unsurprisingly, but also the Palestinian Authority was not there because the Trump administration revoked their visas. Now, we're going to talk about how conservatives in Canada are reacting to all this, but I would like to remind you that the Israeli government, many of its members, are wanted by the International Criminal Court of Justice. They are wanted for war crimes and crimes against humanity. So I'm not sure that they're the ones I want to be siding with or believing. I'm also not siding with Hamas. I'm siding with humanity and peace for people, all people. Saying that, Pierre is now referring to the state of Palestine as the Hamas state, again trying to equate all Palestinians as being terrorists. Melissa Lantsman, she put out a video where she seemed to insinuate that pro-Palestinian protesters here in Canada are also terrorists. They're also trying to spin this by saying that the Prime Minister lied about the recognition of a Palestinian state and what it would take to get there. They are trying to claim that Prime Minister Carney said that the hostages would be released and that Hamas would be disarmed and that elections would be held before he would recognize a Palestinian state. That is not true. Prime Minister Carney said that he would recognize a Palestinian state predicated on the fact that the Palestinian Authority had given him certain assurances, meaning that there's an understanding that these things will come from the Palestinian Authority at some point, hopefully very soon. It's also worth pointing out that there is some misinformation being spread, primarily more on the left, about Canada funding Israel. Canada does not fund Israel in any way. We don't provide financial compensation to Israel. We allow Canadian businesses to trade with Israel or do business in Israel, but that is the extent of it. Providing financial aid and allowing businesses to continue to do business in Israel are two very different things. I also want to point out that anyone who is talking about Israel not existing in the future is not doing anything to help Palestinians. You are fueling the exact narrative that Israel wants the world to believe as justification for them killing every single Palestinian. A two-state solution is the only way forward, and while we need to plan for a two-state solution, the immediate focus should be on getting a ceasefire. We need to stop the killing and the destruction. The details and the nitty-gritty of how the two-state solution is going to function and how much military Palestine will be able to have versus Israel, those details can be worked out tomorrow. What we need right now is a ceasefire. To finish this off, I will say that I think there's a lot more that Canada could do in terms of action against Israel to try and get them to stop what they are doing in Gaza and in the West Bank. But Canada is moving in the right direction. We are not standing still. We are not moving backwards. We are moving in the right direction in terms of a two-state solution and putting pressure on Israel. And that is the important thing. It may not be moving as fast as we all want it to move. And obviously time is of the essence, but we are moving in the right direction. Canada is the second largest supplier of humanitarian aid into Gaza, $350 million. The only country above us is the European Union, which is technically multiple countries. So I think Canada is doing lots, but I think we could be doing a lot more. We'll see you guys later.